Hello friends, and thank you for tuning into this video. My name is David. I am an author. I am a YouTube person. I haven't been around very much. I got lots of stuff going on, but we're going to get into a nice topic of discussion right now, which is, why are INFJs misunderstood? Are INFJs misunderstood? Yes, I think in large part we are, and we're going to talk about why. This video is going to be mad lit, bro. So just hang on a moment. Let's do an intro and we'll get into it. All right. It's good. It's good to be back here. Yeah, I've been trying to upgrade the slang game just a little bit, not for any other reason. I mean, I like mad lit, bro. You know what that means, but I just think it's kind of funny. I'm not trying to be cooler. I'm just trying to confuse people that don't understand the slang, and I know where Urban Dictionary is. And plus, I think it's kind of funny to think about like some older woman watching this video and being like, he's a very nice boy, but I don't know what he's talking about with that recipe. And then their friends are going to be like, what recipe? And she'll be like, well, he said that if you're going to be baking cakes, you need to be getting your grind on without a Jimmy hat. Jimmy hat's not for baking. Actually, yes. Yes, Jimmy hats are for baking. You should go to the baking section of your local supermarket and you can find them right next to the frosting. Oh, man. I'm in a mood. Anyway, before we get into INFJs being misunderstood, please, check out my book. Link is in the description. I wrote this, and it's a great book. And it's a supernatural science fiction story, and the main character is an INFJ. I think it'll blow your freaking mind. At least I hope so. Lots of you have bought it and read it, and I've been getting great reviews. I'm up to 30 positive reviews. I'm up to 30 reviews on Amazon. I would love to hit 50 actual text reviews on Amazon by my birthday, which will be in May. Yes, I'm a Taurus. Yeah, it's great. So please, if you have read it, go and leave the review for me. And if you haven't, just check out the link. I'm certain if you're watching this channel and you're into the INFJ thing, you're going to enjoy this book. INFJ main characters are a ton of fun to write, and I'm going to keep doing so. Book 2 will happen at some point when I write more than another word. It's been a little slow going. For those of you who've been wondering where I am and how I've been, next question. In all seriousness, everything's great. Moving on to INFJs being misunderstood. So I thought long and hard about this question because it's one that's kind of core for like an INFJ identity, right? A lot of times, there's a reason that I refer to INFJs as aliens in this world, because we often feel like we are aliens in this world. Not the kind of aliens that float around Earth and hoover up random people on farmland and probe the butts, but better aliens. So it's a really complicated answer to this question. And I think in large part, the answer is yes. INFJs are, or tend to be, very, very misunderstood. We tend to be labeled as shut-ins a lot of times. We tend to be labeled, like my nickname in high school was No Hang, because he's not going to hang out. Like I never wanted to hang out because I was more comfortable just introverting by myself and left to my own devices and just kind of doing whatever it was I was doing, which was also writing and writing really bad goth poetry. Yeah. I wonder if I could write really bad goth poetry now. The dark abyss of the abyss is really dark. Maybe. My tortured soul demands the retribution of the abyss of my darkness. Maybe I'm just too happy to do this stuff. The emotional fortitude with which I abandon my heart is never to be found in the vertiginous abyss of dark stuff. I'm sad. Anyway, Our misunderstood nature, I think, comes from the way we see the world, and we see it very differently than other types. And part of that is our intuition at work and just kind of how we're perceiving everything and all the information that we're gathering, and then the difficulty that we have processing it. And also understand that our second function is extroverted feeling, and one of our shadow functions is introverted feeling, which is our FI critic, which is just, it's really bad. It's just bad. It's the one where it's like, if you talk to somebody and you're like, you text them and you're like, hello, and they're like, hey, I'll call you, but I'm busy right now. And you're just like, I'm really sorry that I've burdened you with my existence. I'll go away forever. Stupid FI. A lot of times we don't speak the same language as other people on an emotional level, and certainly not on a level of how we see and perceive the world. I mean, when I had a job where I was called the Enigma at work. It's like, this is just kind of a thing that happens. We often do have that misunderstood feeling, and that's why we have this amazing community of my sweet, sweet INFJs out there. All you guys hanging out in the comments and supporting each other and showing love and spreading it all over the place. You guys are amazing. What happens is you take an INFJ who is introverted and who speaks a very strong emotional language, and you put them in a world that is an extroverted world that rewards going out and doing things and being involved and engaged with other people and all those other things. It can lead to misunderstandings because sometimes we're just not feeling it. We can't get out. We can't get out into the world. We don't want to go to social mixers. I mean, nobody's doing that now, obviously, but back when the world was normal, quote unquote, going out and doing those things and let's all go around the room and introduce ourselves and all that kind of nonsense. It's not our place. It's not our happy place. Our happy place is in our own worlds and in our own heads and speaking, again, that emotional language. This is particularly tough if you're an INFJ and you're a dude. The outside world of extroverted dudes is like beer, football, titties, NASCAR, and that's not my thing. That's a lot of people. That's not their thing. But if you are an emotional person and you want to hear music that moves you and you want to watch a movie that makes you think deeply and moves you, that's not typically, I don't want to say the word acceptable, but it almost is that way. Like you get, and this is something that happened to me, just being teased and being seen as weak because I'm a sensitive and emotional person. Yeah, it's not weakness. So that's the first reason, right? We just see the world in such a vastly different way than most people. And a lot of times on a bit of a deeper level, it's difficult for us to understand a lot of those social things that are just appear normally or appear as normal for people. Going out and having drinks and being in a bit of a crowd and having a good time and letting loose and all those kinds of things. Well, sure, we can do it from time to time, but that is something that drains us a great deal. And a lot of times we're just like, you know what? I can't. I'm not doing that. I can't go there. So yeah, if you're friends with an INFJ, expect to have some plans canceled from time to time. Expect us to be in a state where we don't know why we're not okay. Something is going on in our head and in our heart, and we're not right. And we're not really sure why we're not right. We just know that it feels off. That's our intuition going crazy and sending all sorts of signals to us, and the puzzle pieces just aren't fitting quite yet. And that's normal for us. It's normal for an INFJ to feel that way pretty often. Your typical extrovert who's very big on the sensory world is not going to understand that. And that's where we have some difficulty in communicating with other types. And it happens. And that's why INFJs are often seen as self-centered. Because we are so internal, and we're often seen as flaky because we are canceling plans and not able to get ourselves to do things. And we are seen as moody because we are deeply, deeply affected by the moods and emotions of people around us. And with the world the way it is right now in particular, we're being bombarded by all sorts of signs, signals, words, and events that can really just kind of trash our mood in an instant. I mean, you wake up, and if in 5 minutes, if you're reading the news, you've got plenty to go on to make you feel pretty crappy for the entire day. Never mind the fact that just on a personal level, you may get critical words from one person, and those critical words will absolutely wreck you for like a week. It happens. It happens to me all the time. I'm not proud of it. I don't want that to occur. And sure, I'd love to turn off the freaking INFJ switch on my brain from time to time, but it doesn't work that way. And so it's a matter of stepping back and understanding that I am feeling this way because somebody was critical. I want harmony. I have introverted feeling as a shadow function, and that thing is wreaking some havoc in my brain. And off you go. That's the perfect recipe for bacon cakes. My fellow INFJs watching this, raise your hand if you felt at one point or another during your life that your brain was broken. Seriously, put the emoji, the little emoji of the guy raising his hand or the woman raising her hand, put that down in the comments, right? If you are that person that you felt at one point in your life, regardless of what the event was, you felt, why is my brain broken? I think you're going to be surprised at how many people share that emoji with you, because it's true. We often would feel that way because things don't tend to make sense on the sensory world in front of us. And we tend to think in those deeper questions, and we tend to look below the surface for connections and meanings. And in a world that is very, very sensory overload at all times, it sends us spinning away in like a friggin' hurricane of overthinking. Veritable turd tornado of terrible thoughts. Now here's a point where I'm going to call out some of my fellow INFJs, because what you have to understand is that the INFJ part of you is cognitive, right? That's how you think. It's not what you think. That's your personality, right? So there's a difference between, and I've said this on so many videos, there's a difference between your cognitive functions as an INFJ, which is the roadmap of how you are thinking about things, and your personality. Not every INFJ is going to like chocolate. Not every INFJ is going to like candy corn, but if they do, they can't be trusted. I'm just saying. Shameless plug. Not every INFJ is going to enjoy my book, but you probably will, so you should get it. Anyway. Look, I'm self-published, okay? Like, if nobody's promoting it, then nobody's promoting it. So somebody has to. I'm not buying ads on the Super Bowl for the book, for crying out loud. Your unique personality has more to do with whether you are a misunderstood person than your cognitive functions. Sure, it's going to frame the way you think about and see the world. Absolutely true. But what you do with that information that you gather and process, that's up to you. You can choose to be a positive person. You can choose to be a negative person. You can make the choice to communicate with somebody and say, listen, my feelings are valid. This is how I feel. This is the way I am. And I have a lot to offer and a lot to give. And you're going to have to accept me for the way I am. And sometimes I'm going to be confusing. Sometimes I'm not going to make sense. Sometimes my decision-making will seem really weird. If somebody truly loves and appreciates you, they'll understand. And they'll know that you have so much to give and so much to offer. Because you do. Yeah, okay, you're misunderstood. So what? Right? It's not like you're worthless. It's not like you don't have anything to give other people. And it's not like you aren't a shining light in this world, because I know that you are. I know you are. You're the INFJ. You're that big idealistic thinker. You're the one who sees the patterns. You're the one who absorbs those emotions and can really lend yourself to other people to make them feel amazing and better and understood, and like somebody actually cares about what they think, especially those who struggle with the same things in a very, very extroverted world. I'm not trashing extroverts. I love extroverts. Truly, I do. Because without them, I mean, everybody'd just be home, which is kind of like what we're doing right now in a pandemic. And they don't like it, by the way. But still, there has to be a balance. And that balance is critical, working with other types and other people and other personalities. And you may find some that you don't like, and you may find some that you do. The most important thing is to understand who you are, right? You're that INFJ. Yes, you're an overthinker. Yes, you're really sensitive. Yes, you feel emotions very deeply, and things that are seemingly disconnected from you can hit your heart and send you to tears in an instant. It's true. All of the things that make you a quote-unquote misunderstood INFJ are also your great gifts. Your compassion, how you feel about people, and how you can absolutely be that shining light for people that are feeling misunderstood, and that are feeling downtrodden, and that are feeling like they don't have anyone to turn to or anyone that'll actually listen to them. And you have purpose. And it's good to remember that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be coming back to you again. I'm working on it. Just on a personal level, I want to thank a lot of you have reached out to me. Obviously, you realize that I've been going through some stuff and a lot of changes in my life, and I'm trying to get back into some semblance of a routine, and it's very, very difficult for me right now. I have been quiet on social media. I'm going to stay quiet on social media. In 3 days, it'll be the 2-year anniversary of the last conversation that I had with my older brother. I still have the text in my phone. And a couple of days after that, it'll be the 2-year anniversary of his passing. So for the next week or so, I'm going to be pretty quiet. Don't reach out to me. I'm not going to respond. I'm taking this time. But after a week or so, I'm going to be back in front of you on this camera and talking about some more fun stuff. So I'm trying, I'm working on it. And I just wanted to say thank you. And I love you. And I appreciate you. And one more shameless plug. It's a really good book. Just give it a chance. Kindle or paperback. And please, if you have read it, write that review. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I will see you very, very soon.